Good evening, Pokemon fans and Draft League players alike. This is Blazeman, and today I am bringing you my Week 3 battle of the PDD versus my very good friend Killua. Now, this should be a very, very good battle because myself and Killua are both very prolific batters, and honestly, our matchup is very scary against each other. He has amazing threats, which I don't really have switch-ins to. I have threats which he doesn't switch into. So this is going to be a very good battle. As you can see here, on the left-hand side of the screen is Killua's team, and it's Snealser, Excalibur, Corviknight, Zarude, Gardevoir, Thundurus, Gastrodon, Dudunsparce, which is Terra Normal, Water and Fairy, Terra Haunter, which is Ghost, Fairy and Fighting, and he had a Terra Crocodile, which was Terra, Water, Fairy and Ghost, I believe. But yes, so that's his team. Now let's get on with the battle. But yes, apologies for the lack of the team builder. I've been very busy these past 2 weeks. So yes, there's going to be no team builder for this week, and for week 4 or week 5 there will be team builders.
Down what he has Ursaluna.
So as you can see here, he brings pretty much the 6 I expect.
My
I
setup's a
expected
little
the
bit
Corviknight
different
and
today,
Rocky
guys,
Helmet,
because I had to
Ursaluna.
get out of my room because they're doing some construction. So
but reduction Berry or maybe Boots
here.
because it is just that good versus me. I expected Spidev Gastrodon with Lefties, which you see here because of a good check to my soft check to my specialist Hydreigon and Kilowattrel. I expected Sneasler here as a more offensive breaker, just a good matchup here. I don't know
if I lead.
I also expected the Dunsparce because it's a good Terra Normal is a bit of a problem for my team outside of my Goldingo.
Okay,
so you can see here.
My lead
I'm going
is
to
still kind of uncertain here.
And also Zarude was a good bring versus this team that caught me off guard. I don't have amazing dark resist as well, so it's definitely going to be a pain for me to deal with. As you can see here,
battle a lot.
I'm going to choose to lead off with my Azelf.
Aladdin.
So this
is
Azelf
the
is a
Azelf. Hopefully he's not
Azelf,
taunt.
with
Maybe
rocks
not explosion either.
U-turn because
so at least
rocks
we know
are key
he
in this
can't put
matchup
up
for chip
spikes. I
damage.
think I'm gonna Calm Mind here. He might taunt us. I think I'm gonna Calm Mind. Hopefully he doesn't trick
screens
us.
Are very key.
That would be
As
pretty
annoying. He's going to choose to take a more
offensive then we have to switch, but at least if he
Dunsparce.
tricks us, then we know Sneasler's gonna be faster.
Which I did expect
he does bring the Hydreigon, which is pretty threatening.
Yes, so he's going to.
He does go rocks. Okay, cool.
He's going to go for Calm
I don't know if
Mind.
he explodes here though.
Could be Terra Normal
if he
or Fairy. I
explodes
do
here,
expect.
I think we're still good anyways.
Normal or Water Fairy didn't make a lot of sense because it would only become weak to my Goldingo.
Nothing really wants to take.
Yes, as you see, we set up Calm Mind. I'm going to elect to go for the light screen here because
the explodes here, Quackball can kill us. So
for my team.
I think I'm a boom. Wow,
so do just set my light screen here on this turn, ensuring that
and
Azelf does not, and I'm also max HP Aladdin,
I should have
max HP on myself, so that does
I don't think
about a third
it would have
damage.
mattered that much.
Also,
I'm gonna Calm Mind again.
So this turn I do elect just to U-turn out of my
hopefully not into
with my Azelf because this mon is going to be very key in taking screens in the later game, and I have seen a reason to.
But he might do that. He might
throw this mon away.
So
I'm going to go fairly easily into my Ursaluna.
I don't know why I did Terra.
An Earth Power or another Calm Mind.
I forgot. I got a little excited there. Coda?
And I also want to get my Flame Orb off as soon as possible because this Ursaluna just.
I should have went for Boom
aside from the
Burst.
Corviknight, it guaranteed
he
picks
only
up
went.
KO.
Okay, so he put up rocks and he went
every time something comes in. But yes, as you see, my opponent clicks Calm Mind again, and I've got some speed on this Ursaluna, so I can just threaten this thing out with a.
So I think here we just go straight into our Corviknight because that's really what it's here for.
The Corviknight is the easiest switch, but I didn't want to call.
He doesn't have a Reflect, which is good. You could always go into Goldingo afterwards, though.
Start just to force this mon out because this mon
he might be faster than us, so we have to see
Corviknight does make a lot of sense as a switch in. So as you can see here, he does switch into his Corviknight.
So Flame Orb, maybe he Trailblazes.
As you can see here, takes rock damage, which was the key reason I needed this up to take.
I'm really not sure.
Rocks is actually and it's going to take an absolute shit ton.
He does
Facade,
Facade.
as you can see, it doing
doesn't do
well
much.
over
does a lot though.
half its HP, bringing it just below half. As you can see, Rock Helmet, which I expected, and Flame Orb brings me down to about 80%
somewhere.
So I click 5 punch on this turn, expecting my opponent to be slower than me, but he does actually have some speed on this one, which is a very good bring on his part. So yes, he's going to
probably because I have rocks up.
I believe he clicked behind
I think maybe we
just
are
to
in
get some boost up. So as you can see, he is faster than these. That means unfortunately he's going to live this 5 punch. So I didn't clearly have enough speed investment, so that's
it doesn't.
Bear in mind, he's just going to live on a slither of HP.
So we're looking pretty good.
Last is going to be brought down to about
6%
or so,
or we can
less than ideal, but this Corviknight is very weakened, which opens up a lot of my team for sure. So on this turn, I'm just going to elect to go into my Goldingo. It covers a Roost because I can set up on it. It covers a 9 defense, it covers a Body Press, it covers a Brave Bird. It's just an all-round good switch in to my opponent's team.
Yeah, he goes Goldingo.
So you see I'm going to pick the Goldingo here. It's just too good of a switch, and as you see, my opponent goes to go for the Body Press.
I should have roosted. I should have seen that coming. I thought he might
play I make here,
we can still use this, so we go into
I should really have clicked Make It Rain.
The rocks are going to be a little bit annoying.
Regardless of its item, it's always a switch into my Goldingo, and it actually loses me momentum this time.
But
by
let's
clicking,
see what this Goldingo wants to do
to
us. Maybe he tricks. If he does trick now, that'd be kind of good. So let's see.
You see here, I'm going to chuck on a nasty block. Against the Thunder Wave,
or he could trick, or he should go for Make It Rain, maybe. Nasty plot, okay. A crunch should still do a lot.
This one is a big threat. My team, as I mentioned before, I don't have amazing dark switches.
Though. I'm going for crunch anyways. Because what else did he show?
So I do ultimately end up wanting to switch out here. I go into my Grafai thinking this thing might go for a U-turn or Power Whip, predicting my Hydreigon to come in, but we're just going to see fires off a big crunch here, and this is going to do so much damage. It does about,
so this thing comes
it does 60% or something like that. Yeah, it does so much damage to my Grafai. And I can't use any of my pranks to this on this because this is a Dark type, of course.
We have to go
so I'm just going to get the heck out of it and go back into my Hydreigon, predicting a crunch to come off here, but it also covers a double because it gives me a free U-turn.
But we are really
wherever I want to, or I can drop a Draco on something because, as you can see,
I don't want to drop Corviknight yet because Ursaluna's. I can use it as a sack. I think I just go into the sword stance. Yeah, this thing is pretty frightening.
I'm going to switch out. I'm not wanting to take another crunch because it will kill me. I'm not expecting him to be. I was expecting a twist offset, so I expect him to be locked in.
I actually think we might take a hit from Hydreigon.
But he turns out to just switch out into Dunsparce, which is not a problem. And it's also not Terra at this point, which I'm very happy about because Terra normal is a threat.
Let me think. He doesn't know if we're Terra Fairy. So I think from
I'm just going to click U-turn here and get out here and go straight to my Goldingo, which is my soft check to this thing. So as you can see here, my opponent does choose to
there's no way he stays
opt to Terra on this turn and become an even more overpowered normal
than it already is. And I feel like he has to go into Goldingo. And if we can get a strong... Okay, nice. So if we can get a strong...
Get a little bit of chip on this thing and just switch back out.
Earth Power off? That would be great. So let's see. To Goldingo... Whew, nervous. Alright, let's see. To Goldingo or Earth Power, if it's max HP, it does at +1, 48 to 57.
Yeah, so I'm just going to switch out again. Good.
Hopefully...
You see my opponent's going to click Carmine here. This is puts me in a prime position to click Nasty Plot with my Goldingo as I'm a Shuka variant, so I'm free to click Nasty Plot here. And you see my opponent does choose to go for the Earth Power, but as I'm Shuka Berry, this Earth Power is pretty much going to bounce off of me, and this +2 Make It Rain, well, +1 Make It Rain is going to hurt a lot. So it does about 30% or so. And I'm going to click, and I'm going to Nasty Blob, and then my opponent's going to click Earth Power again, which will be a slight pain for me, but I will live based on my investment, which I've got a bit of investment here. Yeah.
I should go Zarude.
So we're going to see the Mind Maker Ring come out here and do so much damage, but it lives on 10 HP. Would you believe that? The amount of Mons that lived on a Slytherin this season is honestly mental. Because if that Dunsparce had gone down and my Goldingo was still at around 80% in this, I would have been sitting pretty. Obviously the Zarude would have come in again, but I would have still had the Goldingo to come in at full when the Baxcalibur came in and when the Sneasler came in as well. Obviously, I'm just going to click Make It Rain here and just let this and kill this Dunsparce, which is a big pain in the ass for my team. We're going to see this Dunsparce go down to Make It Rain, which is just such a funny animation. I'm just basically throwing all my money away at this Dunsparce. So So we're back down to neutral special attack, and the Zarude's going to come in here, which is a slight problem. But I have out, so it's not too much of a problem. And as you can see, me not wanting to sack off my Goldango, I'm going to switch straight out into my Hydreigon, predicting him to crunch. So I just don't think he's going to U-turn, because that won't actually kill my Goldango. So he is forced to click crunch, which I do enjoy. That's another reason why I like having this Goldango around, is because right now he has to click crunch. You can see him debating here. As you can see, I'm not prepared to switch in. I'm not prepared to stay in this, and I do switch out into my Hydreigon. And you see crunch going to come up here and do 10, 15% if that. So I expect my opponent to switch into its Corviknight just to sack it off. But I can just freely click Draco, because there's not a lot that wants to switch into a Draco. In hindsight, I could have clicked Dark Pulse, but I didn't want the Sneasler to come in for free on a potential U-turn. You see, my opponent elects to switch out and bring in their Corviknight here. This Draco's just going to kill, and this Draco after rocks will just pick up the kill, which is very good. They are down 2 mons, so I have got the momentum swinging in my direction, which I do enjoy. And as you can see, my opponent is going to bring in it. I predicted either the Sneasler or the Zarude, but as you can see, the Zarude does come in here, which is again a slight problem for my team. Now at this point in time, I still very much value my Hydreigon as a offensive threat versus the Baxcalibur, so I'm going to elect to sack myself here, because I'm actually max HP. So you see, I live on an invisible focus sash versus this Zarude, but I was just sacking myself there. It got rocks up, it got up the screen, it had done its job. So that's all I needed from it. So yeah, it's going to bring in a Sneasler and click U-turn, which made sense. I was expecting some sort of coverage for Zelf, of course, on the Sneasler. So as you can see, my opponent's just going to click U-turn, that will take out Aladdin, but Aladdin has done amazing work here. It's got up a light screen to prevent the Dance Blast from sweeping early, as well as setting up my Stealth Rocks, which will be exceedingly useful in the continuation of this match. So you can see, my opponent's just deciding which ones to choose. So my opponent's going to bring in their Zarude, and I'm going to bring in my Killua and apply some offensive pressure, because this team does not have amazing flying resist. The best switch into my Killua at this point is that Gastrodon. So it gives me a free Hurricane here, which I'm going to be Terra Flying boosted, which does a lot of damage. Yes, I believe I can two-shot the Gastrodon, Spadef Gastrodon after Hurricane. Sharp Beak boosted Hurricane from Terra Flying Killua, I believe, will two-shot this Gastrodon. As you can see, my opponent does not intend to stay in, and they're going to switch out into their Gastrodon here. This is the first misplay I make here. I don't click Hurricane, as I previously said. I actually clicked Terra Blast, which I'm not quite sure why I was doing that. I wasn't really scared of I shouldn't really have been scared of a miss, because one, hitters don't miss, and two, I needed to hit Hurricane to kill this Gastrodon, as you can see here. This Terra Blast, it will do a significant amount, but it will still bounce off of this Gastrodon here, as you can see. That doesn't do a whole lot of damage. After a recover, this thing is going to be still very healthy, enough to take a Hurricane from this range. So me predicting him to go for the Earth Power here or the Ice Beam, I'm going to go into my Ursaluna, because my Ursaluna does just net a kill here. Something I can switch into this thing fairly freely, and Facade will just pick up a kill. As you can see, this Gastrodon's going to use Earth Power, and it does about 25% to my Ursaluna, but I knew that Ursaluna could live any one hit here and will claim a kill with Facade, which was the main goal here. I wanted something to go down from the Facade. As it's currently 5-4, so I'm looking good here. And it'll be 5-3 in a minute, because my opponent has to sack something. Killua's got to sack something here. Nothing lives, and nothing wants to take this hit at all. Best case scenario, Scarlet or Snealser dies, but as you can see here, I'm sure, and I was predicting my opponent to sack Zarud, which also worked out fine for me because that alleviates a bit of pressure off of my Hydreigon here. So as you can see here, as I predict, Killua was going to switch out and bring in his Zarud here. So Zarud going down is a big win for myself. Obviously, unfortunately, Coda's going to have to exchange 1-for-1 here, but it basically killed the Corviknight and it's killed the Zarud, so Coda has done amazing, as always. It's done an amazing job at destroying this team. As you can see, my opponent elects to bring in their backs to the future, which again you see it's not boots, so those that rocks are paying off there. So I'm gonna again click for starting not win this thing to DD in my face. As you can see, it's just going to Glaive Rush and pick me off here, which again is not ideal. But it stops it from DDing in my face, and Ursaluna has done more than enough damage. This also means it gives me a free. I can go into my Hydreigon very freely and click Draco Meteor, and something will. I believe I get a kill here. I should get a kill here with Draco Meteor for my Hydreigon. As their only switching will be the Spadef Gastrodon, which I want severely weakened for my Kilowattrel to sweep in the end game. As you can see, my Hydreigon's going to fire for Draco Meteor. And this is going to do a significant amount of damage. But yeah, so as you can see here, my +2 Draco will just pick up a kill here. It will kill this Gastrodon. Now this is an interesting play because as you can see here, obviously, I should click Draco Meteor again because judge on that, a -2 Draco Meteor will kill the Hydreigon. Now if you're going to ask me, why did I switch out? I actually have zero idea why I've switched out. I know I need to preserve Hydreigon, but this is going to kill this Gastrodon. And then I just go into my Goldengo for no reason. I have no idea what this play was. I don't understand it. I really do not. I think I predicted here and predicted Sneasler to come in or something like that. But yeah, this Gastrodon's up to way too much HP, and I would have killed it there with a Draco. So that was the first. That was not a mistake on my part here, unfortunately. I was really commanding in the first bit of this game. So as you can see here, I'm not quite sure why I did that, because I won't be able to kill this Gastrodon, and Earth Power will just obliterate me. So yes, that is a slightly questionable play, but again, I was very nervous for this game because it was a very difficult matchup for myself. As you can see, I'm gonna elect to click a Shadow Ball, and it does again reasonable chip, and there's an Earth Power just going to pick me off, unfortunately, so my plank does go down. But yeah, you can't always be consistent in this game of Pokemon. You can't always get everything right, as you can see here. I don't, but hey, I'm doing okay. I'm not guaranteed to lose. But yeah, I think from the Hydreigon play, the rest of my plays go a little bit downhill. But again, I think I was coming off of the adrenaline. My thoughts were a little bit clouded. I'm going to choose to go into my Fire here and click Parting Shot. But again, if this thing gets off a free recover, it doesn't work. But I kind of predict my opponent to go for an Earth Power, because otherwise, why would I stay in? So I think I do stand by this play by clicking Parting Shot, because it also means that Ice Beam won't do as much to my Gastrodon Kilowattrel. Sorry. As you can see, I'm going to click Parting Shot on this Mon and switch out into my Kilowattrel, predicting the Earth Power, which I do get right. But yeah, I should have really killed this thing with Draco Meteor. I don't know what I was doing. I genuinely have no idea. Anyway, you can't win them all though. So as you can see, I'm going to fire for Hurricane, which will do a lot of damage to this Mon. But this Gastrodon is the only thing really stopping my Kilowattrel from winning. As you can see, this Hurricane's going to come off and do an absolute shit ton of damage. Brings it all the way down to basically dead, and I do get the the lucky duckies here, and Killua does unfortunately hit himself in confusion, which I did apologise for, because that is a pain in the arse, because he would have got an ice beam off, which would have done a lot of damage. But yeah, so as you can see here, it's looking very good for my Kilowattrel, as I'm going to be able to pick off this Gastrodon. So I'm just going to Terrible Blast here, no need to miss a Hurricane, and kill this thing. So yeah, Kilowattrel is going to pick up the first of its kills here. Now, I got a little bit overconfident on my side. I was really pumped up because I was looking forward to winning this, because this Baxcalibur does die after it comes in at rocks and takes 50%, and the Sneasler also dies because he was U-turn. I was not expecting the Sneasler to be fake out, because obviously if it's U-turn, fake out, close combat, and Gunk and Diaclaw, it can't kill my Gholdengo. But as you can see, my opponent's idea was to kill the Gholdengo, which he did, and then revenge me. But yeah. I was also slightly concerned that he might have been Scarf Baxcalibur, which I'll admit doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was a possibility. I was also quite worried about a Swords Dance set, but thankfully he hadn't had the chance to set up yet. So my Kilowattrel can just pick this mon off from this range, as the Terra Blast will kill it. I don't even need to click Hurricane, Terra Blast will do the job. As you can see, a Terra Blast is going to come off and will kill this Baxcalibur from full. So it is Sneasler versus the world at this point. So yes. So that's going to pick off that Baxcalibur, and I'm sitting rather pretty at the minute, looking fairly good to win this game. As you can see, in comes the Sneasler, and yeah, this is the point where I just stay with my Kilowattrel, and I just don't think it can kill me. But then I forget about the fake out normal gem boost, which again I didn't think it would have that, because I thought it was a more Scarf variant. So the play here, as you'll be able to see, my opponent does get the crit, which it didn't really matter too much, because I think, as you can see, as you can see here, that it does a lot of damage and puts me out of range of anything. A Diaclaw or fake out. Close combat would have run a roll, but I think Diaclaw would have killed me after the fake out. The play always here was to click, go into Grafire, sack it off, and then bring in Kilowattrel for free. So even though I got a little bit of hacks, made a questionable play, I was still nearly going to win. But as you can see, unfortunately, I do not. This Sneasler is going to sweep me again, which I wasn't very happy about, but I do blame myself entirely for getting too overconfident and making one questionable play, and then the rest was perfectly fine. It's just this play I don't agree with, and the Hydreigon play I don't agree with either. So you're going to see here, I end up switching out into Hail Hydra anyway, but it doesn't really matter, because this thing has Unburden, it will outspeed and kill my whole team. The close combat doesn't matter at all, as you'll see here. So I just unfortunately get picked up by the Sneasler. I then go into my Grafire, clicking Parting Shot in order to live, but unfortunately at this point it doesn't matter. This Sneasler is going to pick off the rest of my team, unfortunately. As you see here, I do go for the Parting Shot into my Kilowattrel, but I'm not going to live anything from the Sneasler, because it's going to outspeed me. I won't live any 2 hits at all. Unfortunately, this is going to be a very close 1-0 loss to my good friend Killua. Honestly, I will take a 1-0 loss. A 3-0 would have been exceptional, where 2-0 when I say it would have been 3-0. As you see, a close combat nearly kills me on its own, so this Diaclaw is definitely going to kill me. Yeah, I would have loved a 2-0 win, but I will definitely take a 1-0 loss versus this very scary team. And my good friend Killua is going to pick up this last couple of kills here. And Freddy Krueger is going to continue to give me nightmares in its Sneasler form. See here, my Kilowattrel is going to go down, unfortunately. And then in comes Grafire to unfortunately get picked off. But yes, of course, GG to my good friend Killua. This was an absolute back and forth match. And yes, it brought me on such an adrenaline high. It was just way too good. And he's going to pick up the win here. But yes, GG, well played. A little bit of a rough loss, but hey, we can bounce back. It's not a problem. I would appreciate if you go and check out my good friend Killua's YouTube channel, which I will link down below. And I would also appreciate if you check out his fiance's Etsy shop. She created my logo and my channel image, so I'd appreciate if you check her out. As always, if you can like and comment down below, that would be appreciated. Make sure to kick punch that like button, kick punch that sub button if you do so enjoy this content, and make sure you turn the notification bell on if you wish to get a notification when my content comes out. But as always, make sure to let me know how I can improve my content in the description below. As always, this has been Blazeman, signing off. Peace.